Hey guys, and welcome to Pheas Airsoft. Today I'm going to be unboxing this Specna Arms, Rock River Arms, fully licensed SA-E03 Edge. Hey guys, and welcome back. If you do enjoy this content today, please do consider liking, commenting and subscribing, because those interactions help the channel get seen by the YouTube algorithms and help this channel to grow. If you want to visit my socials on my Discord and my merch store, use the link down below to go and visit those. And if you want to support the channel a little bit more, usually a join button down here somewhere. Take you to channel memberships, 99p a month, custom videos, custom giveaways, and your own private chat section in my Discord as well. Totally optional, but really appreciated if you wanted to do that. So today then, I have got my first proper unboxing of a Specna Arms, and I want to say a massive shout out to Mike for letting me do this. I really appreciate that he's given me this chance to have a look at this. So we've gone for the SA-E03 Edge, the Rock River Arms licensed one, so it's a good couple of kilograms. I'm actually quite impressed with the box. Got a nice big sticker on there telling us that we've got the x-asr in there, and we've got a little bit of obviously the 4 S's that Specna confirm or run by. We've got nice little branding underneath in terms of different pictures of what they do, and we've got a big branding for the Rock River. So let's spin this around and get the lid open. Quite excited actually. I've heard a lot of different things. More lately I've heard a lot more positivity than I've heard negativity, so I'm quite keen to see how we're getting on with this. So let's have a look. Get the foam cover out of the way. So we've got a little Specna manual system and safety guide. We've got maybe like a little manual, little catalogue or something. It's a poster, a little bit about the gearbox in there, all of their products. So it is a product poster, and it is a fold out poster as well. That's quite cool. I quite like it's quite a nice little feature. I really need a man cave, to be honest, to put all this kind of stuff up on the walls. We've got a downgraded Airsoft replica velocity test, so they're confirming that it's definitely does not exceed 350. That's good, and we'll test that to make sure. We've got an x-asr troubleshooting card to indicate the lighting. It is not a programmable one, it's just a bog standard. We've got some nice stickers in there as well, just for various different things. And then we've got, wow, quite a bit in there. So we've got an inclined vert grip. I love these. I love this style of vert grip. That's quite cool. That's an accessory in there. We've got not one, wow, okay, but 2 mid caps in the box as well. Those are quite nice. I'll leave one in. We've got a little Dean's 2 mini Tamiya. If you're still using mini Tamiya, maybe it's time to think about upgrading. I'll talk about that shortly. And then we've got the piece de resistance. Now, I'm not always a big fan of ARs, just because everybody's got one and you see them so often, but that's actually a really nice piece of kit. So I'll get the box out of the way. Now, that is a pretty damn nice piece of kit, and it's the kind of length that I would have wanted. So it's a traditional sort of M4 length in terms of outer barrel, and I like the crane stocks on it as well. I like these for the battery capacity, but we'll come back to that in a minute. And we've got some rails on there, which we'll speak about in a second. So we've got majority metal construction, the pistol grip, the covers on the rail, and the crane stock are all plastic, but they look fairly decent quality. So we've got a muzzle brake at the front, which is not tightened down, and if I tighten it fully down, it ends up off from where it should be. Maybe we could do with a grub screw or maybe an O-ring behind that, just to sort of keep it secure. An O-ring, or it could have done with being grub screwed underneath. Got a metal outer barrel, metal front sight post. We've got a tan metal handguard unit with quite nice rail guards on it. So we push our thumb into this hole here. That releases the sort of retaining clips, and then we should be able to just slide this off. So fairly secure. A little tiny bit of wobble, nothing too drastic on there, which you'd sort of expect from that sort of thing. In terms of the handguard, there is a teeny tiny little bit of wobble side to side in that handguard. I do like these quad rail units. Even nicer with the rail protectors on there, because some of these edges They're not sharp, but they are very squared off sort of corners. So, you know, they can catch, particularly if you've not got gloves on, they can catch and scratch and things. So it's nice to have those on. And I do like the aesthetic that it gives you with a sort of slightly rounded on the sides. But it does mean you've got a lot of sort of real estate for accessorizing. So just watch, obviously, if there is a tiny little bit of movement in there, does the bottom come out. So if I pull the delta ring back, it does release the bottom, obviously to access in there to remove it, and that will just go back in again, nice and easy. So coming back then to the receiver, so we've got Rock River Arms licensed receiver. That looks really, really nice, but it is just a standard AR body. Let's have a feel. There is absolutely no wobble in that upper receiver at all to the bottom, so it's really well secured down. Quite impressed with that. We've got our rear sight then, is it just fully cut? So it's quick release, so you pull the button, pull that out of the way, so it is click back, and there's the front sight, and we've got a couple of different apertures. Hopefully I can see, you can see that. There we go. So we've got a smaller one, and then that flips down, and a wider one as well. So obviously to fit your choice, and using the dial on the side. There we go. Put it down. You can adjust that left and right to adjust sighting in quite happily. So I'll fold that back out of the way. So we've then got a traditional mag release. We've got our traditional selector, which does quite nicely and firmly click into place. Nice standard AR type trigger. We'll check the bolt release. I do like the charging handle. This enhanced sort of clip here on the charging handle is quite nice. Now, is it? No, it's checking the mag well. No, it is not a locking open bolt. So when you are adjusting the hop, you are going to have to hold it open, and it is a roll down to adjust the hop unit. But it is a rotary style hop unit. I had to think of the word. I couldn't think of the word. So it is a rotary style. We've then got a holographic Rock River sticker on there, just to sort of confirm the officialness of it. It's looking quite nice, actually. It feels really solid, really solid. So I've got our stock then, one position, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 position stock. So I've got loads of room in there for adjusting to suit different arm lengths. And then let's have a look at the battery space. That, I'm not a big fan of that. I'm not sure why people, I don't know if that's based off the real one or not, with this little clip that comes out and then this back plate. You know, it doesn't take an awful lot to lose that little clip, and then you're stuck in a position where the stock is basically got 2 gaps there where water can very easily and dirt can ingress into there. So not a massive fan of that particular feature, but it's not a deal breaker by any stretch of the imagination. And then if you just fold this out, there is the gate x-asr MOSFET that is in there. So all in all, it's quite a good little package. So this, at the time of picking this up, was on offer. So we paid sort of about £30 less than what it's usually going for. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go and have a look how it performs at range through the Chrono and rate to fire, and we'll come back and see how we're getting on. So max 325.9, min even max 331.9, average 329.3. Quite a close grouping. About 12 rounds a second. About 20.5 rounds a second. Nice. Okay guys, so I am back from the shooting test and everything. You will have noticed I haven't got an 8.4 and a 9.6 volt NIM type battery in there, just because they've fallen massively out of favour, and the feedback I'm getting more and more is a lot of people have been messaging me lately with unboxings just saying nobody runs NIMs, they don't know anybody that's got NIMs. You know, it's such a rare occurrence for people, particularly if you're running a MOSFET. They don't always agree with NIM types, or NIM types don't agree with them. So I've just kind of decided I think it's time to sort of let that go. If you do feel strongly that you want those back in, let me know and I can bring it back. I'll quite happily bring those back. So on a 7.4 volt LiPo then, we're getting about 12 rounds a second, which is pretty respectable. I was hoping for a little bit more, I'll be honest. I was hoping sort of maybe a little bit closer to sort of 15, but it is in line with a lot of other AEGs that I've unboxed. In terms of an 11.1 volt then, it's doing about 20 rounds per second, maybe edging up towards 20.5. Again, pretty respectable. It sounds really nice when it's going. It sounds really well built. I will hand it to them. I don't know at this point, I've not checked the footage back yet, how well the camera microphone has picked up that audio, but I can tell you it sounds really nice and really well shimmed. There's no real scratchiness. It sounds a smooth turnover when it's going. So I was quite happy with that. In terms of range then, so it's putting out easily 50 plus meters, as you could see in the video there. I know that the tree line that I'm shooting towards is at least 60 meters, and I'm pretty sure it was getting to there before it was dropping below sort of the shooting level that I was at. But it is absolutely minimum 50 plus meters that it is getting to, because I know the markers across that distance. So again, quite impressive range as well out of the box, and people have said they're pretty good for range and accuracy out of the box, so I'm quite happy with that so far. And then Chrono then, so it's doing about 330 FPS, and I was impressed at how pretty tight the groupings were of the FPS on there, that, you know, there was sort of maximum 5 FPS variance, maybe 6 FPS variance. That is pretty damn good, particularly when we've seen some of the sort of Chinese ones are often 10 to 20 FPS variance, that sort of thing, or lots of random outliers. This has been pretty tight grouping. Now, I guess you would expect that from what is arguably supposed to be a little bit better build quality, things like that. What I will say from the Chrono and shooting test is I did have to redo it. I used a SEMA high cap, which fed absolutely lovely and perfectly in there. But these included mags were jamming for me. And it seemed to be that the follower that's inside there, it doesn't actually come out. But there, the follower that's inside there, I don't know how well the camera is going to pick that up, but there is actually a BB stuck underneath this follower in this particular mag. So putting them down, they seemed to wedge at the side of the follower, and that was wedging them. So it just kept blocking and locking up. So in the end, I just sort of took it out and freed it up later. And I've just realised just before I started filming this bit a little bit again, that there is a BB actually stuck in there under the follower. So just be careful with those. It might be that you need to maybe put a little bit of tape around that follower just to stop those BBs causing, from a maintenance sort of point of view, keeping it running smooth and things. But when they were feeding, before they locked up, they fed lovely before they allowed themselves to get jammed up. So really, really happy with the Chrono and the rates of fire and the range and everything. I'm really, really happy with it. I'm excited sort of to have a look what's inside. The build quality so far has impressed me a lot, actually. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't this. The pistol grip, which I did forget to comment on earlier, really lovely shaped. There's not really a sharp corner, a little bit of an edge there that just might catch if you've not got gloves on, might rub a little bit, particularly through a day as you're moving your hands about to get the selector and things and release the mag you're going to catch. That's potentially going to rub a little bit, but the general shape of it is very, very, very comfortable indeed, and I'm really quite impressed with this. So my only down point at this point that I can think of really is I'm just not very keen on that stock, and that, to be fair, is pretty good going really. That the only feature I don't like is one tiny little part of the stock, and I can afford to live with that quite easily. That stock is easily going to take a 7.4 volt LiPo. You're potentially even going to get an 11.1, which I will grab now, and we'll see if we can get an 11.1 in there. So the 7.4 that I usually do the shoot test with, absolutely easily, without any issues whatsoever. Slide in there, no problem. Let's have a check on the 11.1. I think the issue we're going to have here with the 11.1 is going to be the putting the battery clip back on the little paste of the stock. Now, it's gone in maybe with a slimmer 11.1. There's an awful lot of, I don't think that's going to fit particularly well because there's still a lot of stuff there, and there's nowhere really for the Aster and the ASR to go, and the extra wiring off there. So it's probably not best either to run a much thinner one of these, or one of the little just single stick 11s that can go down one side. Maybe run a couple of those would be an ideal option. So at this point then, what I'm going to do is grab the gloves. This is quite a highly requested feature, and a lot of people want to see this just because they are going to be running it in gloves. They want to know if they're going to likely come up against issues with this whilst running it in and with gloves. So let's go and let's put that back in. Now I would fully expect that this is, easy to run. These have been sort of designed, developed and run over lots of years, so they are at a point where they are quite easy to run in big bulky fingers. So in terms of operating it then, the mag absolutely definitely can go in and out of there. I haven't got an issue with that. I can easily pull the charging handle now. I can sort of feel the hop adjusting. I can definitely adjust it, but I can't tell you how accurate I am being with it. One point I did forget to mention earlier is I needed to put an awful lot of adjustment turning it on to get it to hot 0.25. There's still a lot more adjustment in there, but it needed a lot to come down far enough to access a 0.25. So just keep that in mind, that it might take quite a bit of adjusting before you get it to the point for 0.25. But the charging handle, absolutely easy. Selector, absolutely. The trigger, absolutely no problem whatsoever. Adjusting the stock, very easy again. Changing the battery, probably wouldn't do it tactically in mid-game anyway, but I'm pretty sure I could get that in there and change as well. So I'm pretty happy that most things I could run with my gloves on. So from an unboxing point of view then, so far, this has impressed me both in terms of its performance and the solidness of its build, and I do like sort of like an AR with the sort of quad rail on the front. They do look really, really, really nice. Potentially more that could be had for a little bit more money from other people, a little bit more features. The sort of programmable MOSFETs are appearing in some lines even at this price point, and maybe a little bit cheaper and things like that, but it looks solid, it feels solid. You're paying a little bit for the license on there as well, so I've been pretty impressed, I'll be honest, out of the box. So we will be looking inside it in the next video, so remember to come back and check that out, and if it has been released, you will find it down in the description down below, a link to that. Please do remember to like, comment and subscribe. I hope you've enjoyed this, because I certainly have. I will leave the usual pictures at the end, and I will see you next time. Bye.